is with a warm heart and many thanks that I write this note to you. I apologize for it being so late, but I was to study reading and writing before its creation. By and by, I believe you'll take joy in what I will tell you. When you and I first met in your garden at Zoar Village, I was a farmer's wife. Before that, an immigrant. Actually, my husband and I were both immigrants who traveled from Deutschland. We eventually settled in New Cumberstown and took up the land for work. But it seemed not long after that we settled that my husband began to tire. At first, I believed it to be the fretfulness of a new home and new wife and new work. But it seemed as all the duties that I took up, his tiredness still persists. It seemed that his fatigue was a plague on his body and mind. I soon called the doctor. When he could no longer stand to get up from his bed. What the doctor told me is that he had scurvy. And for me, I did not know what scurvy meant, but he told me that it was born when the body lacks certain vitamins found in citrus fruits. What the doctor told me, it nearly broke my heart because we lived in Ohio. It was December and it was already bitter cold. And where could I get citrus fruits to save my husband? It wasn't until the next day when I was ducking into the general store that I heard of your quaint German village and the very unique greenhouse that was nestled there. I heard a man read from the newspaper, "Summer amidst winter. Zoar Greenhouse proves successful." And I ran to the man and I pleaded to see the article, and it was true. The location was flourishing, and the man was a traveling man, and it was so that he passed just by the village on canal. And so the next morning, I took up my reserves, the last of my savings, $1.22. What was so tirelessly put away and what would be so eagerly given up, and I went to the toll collector for the canal. And he told me that a passenger seat to Zoar from New Cumberstown was $2.40, and I could not pay to do a passenger ride. And so he stuck me on a working boat next to a pile of lumber. All $1.22 he took. And so even though I would disembark in my chosen setting, I would have no money to pay for the fruits which were required. And then I knew. I put my hand against my head and I felt the pin that I had tucked in my bonnet, my mother's heirloom pin. I knew I would trade it for the lemons and the oranges that I would find at the greenhouse. Even though I was in a gloomy state, I disembarked in Zoar Village and I saw the grand structures and the beautiful snow that was falling. I saw a hotel and a town hall, a colossal home, and then I arrived at your garden gate, Simon. I remember the way you looked at me after I knocked on your door. It seemed that you knew many faces and mine was just not one of them. I took out the pin from my hair and I held it out to you. And I said, "Please, sir, I need lemons." And you said, "A pin like that means much too much for lemons." And I said, "Sir, the pin does not mean that much. I need those lemons." And instead, you closed my hand, you walked back, you gathered oranges and lemons from your greenhouse, and you brought them to me. And again, I opened my hand and I offered you the pin. And he said, "No, please take these lemons as a gift from me to you." And with you, I write this letter. In mind, I'm writing to you to say thank you for your gratitude. I couldn't have saved my husband without you. Thank you, Eva Bauer.